Is Hashem even concerned whether Christians are in idolatry or not? Or is it once they come to the knowledge of idolatry and they leave and want to come into Hashem's house permanently, then at that point, is that whenever he puts all of his energy into that person? That's kind of the general.
If God didn't care about Christians, the Jewish people would have never been created, never been forged.
Okay.
We were created for the very purpose of bringing the non-Jew to know about the God of Israel. We are a priestly nation. Isaiah uses the word a or, but or lagoyim, a light to the nations. You'll find that in Isaiah 49 as an example. This is for this purpose. We are a covenant nation. We are here to facilitate the nation. And I know I'm interchanging their Christian with someone who's not Jewish, but my presumption is that you just weren't asking about the Christian religion as opposed to the Hindu religion.
Correct. Right.
So what I have done was sort of transpose. I took out the word Christian. I did that with your question, and I freely inserted the word someone who's not Jewish, who might be a Hindu, who might believe in Zoroastrianism, someone who might worship the gods that are found in the African continent, the pantheistic gods, and so on. So the function of the Jew is to be a light to the world. One of the reasons why God sends us into exile, it has multiple reasons why we're sent to exile, but one of them is we're sent into countries so that people will be able to gain, to see the light from the Jewish people. In Jewish tradition, when the Jews are exiled from one country, from France, there are no Jews left in Egypt today, or Libya. Iraq, no Jews. Jews are gone. In a sense, God has given up on them. It's a very dangerous thing when the Jews are thrown out of a country. If you are in a country where Jews are not to be found, I would get out immediately, because the Jews are there so that you could see us, so that you can encounter us. Now we're also thrown out because we ourselves have turned in the wrong direction. One last point, and that is that we see that the Jews are punished much worse than the nations of the world. It's very clear to any person listening to the show that the Jews have suffered far more and more consistently than any other nation. Moreover, people have very strong opinions about the Jews. I think it's impossible to ignore that. It's not like asking, what do you think of the Chinese? And people going, I don't know, the communists, but they have a free, I don't know. It's like people, Chinese are 1/3 of the world's population, and people don't really have a strong opinion about them. Most don't. Jews, everyone has a very strong opinion about us. Not that, I don't know. If they say I don't know, they're probably trying to be politically correct. Well, something is happening. It's very striking. The role of the Jew is to be a light to the Gentiles, to the non-Jewish world, to the other nations of the world. And that's why the Jews suffer when the nations sin, because we're accountable. When a Jew sins, his sin is greater than a person who's not Jewish, because when we sin, not only do we of course, we're sinning, so now we've separated ourselves from God, but we have failed in our mandate to be a light to the nations of the world, for which we were fashioned. That was the whole purpose of our people. And that's why you'll see in Isaiah 40, verse 1 and 2, very famous, Nachmu, Nachmu, Ami, comfort ye, my people, declares the Lord. And then in verse 2, there's a very striking passage where it says that Jerusalem has been filled, all the sins of the children of Israel, of Jerusalem, have been filled up, have been paid for. It doesn't say because of the cross or because of your blood. It says because Jerusalem the Jewish people have received double for her iniquity. The Jewish people suffered twice as much as they deserved. And the question is, why would they be punished more than they deserve? And the answer is because when we sin, it does much more damage than when a Chinaman sins. Because when we sin, the whole world is damaged, is injured by that rebellion. The whole lights go out on the world. Conversely, if the Jew acts in a way in accordance with Tanakh, it raises up the people here in Indonesia. So the behavior of the Jew is directly very important for the nations of the world. Without it, the nations have no barometer.